Welcome, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of El Mexican Soccer Podcast. I'm Fernando Garcia, and I'm going to be your host today. But before we start with La Plática, let me remind you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all of our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and all that good stuff. Today with us, I have El Super Mojado and a very special guest, Jorge Calvo. He is the Chivas play-by-play English announcer for Telemundo. How are you doing today, Jorge?
Yeah, I'm doing great, guys. Good to be here. Excited to, talk about what's going on in Liga MX and to talk about the Chivas that we all miss, even though they've been around. We all miss the good style of football that, they've been reminiscent of. And, to talk in general about Liga MX and apparently there's other news we should be touching on.
Thank you. And Super, ¿qué me puedes decir de este domingo? Are you happy, sad? Are you like whatever?
De una, man, de una. You jumped right on, huh? So, hey, there's nothing really to talk about Sunday, man. It was a boring 0-0. We're so used to that result. Usually Seoul is not a good field for the match between Chivas and Pumas, eh? Decepcionante.
Yeah, it's nothing we're not used to. Jorge, could you tell me, a little bit of what it is to do the English play-by-play for Chivas, with the English community?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great experience, right? Alongside with Carlos Eustace, that you all know, he's a good friend of the podcast. It's been now 2 seasons. We're going to be hopefully going into the third one where we started with a really, really small, community of guys and women that like to watch Chivas. And they feel the team. They know what it means. They are Mexican-American, American-Mexican, and everything in between. And it's something that we really started seeing growing in a very organic way, like the way that we started communicating with everyone. Because Carlos and myself, we're both, 100% Mexican. We were born there, and the American experience has been, something that we share with a lot of people. So everyone's been, tuning in. It's been growing. It's, as we were talking about, it's not the best time for Chivas, right, to be the color commentator and the play-by-play, because they haven't been performing as good as we think they can. Other than that, the experience is the same. Uno de los más grandes, Guadalajara, solamente un título atrás de América, and they can make it happen, right? Any minute they can get on fire and come back, and it's good for Liga MX when Chivas is playing good football.
Well, that's great to hear. The fact that the community is growing and hopefully continues to grow, as well as Chivas' performance, like you said. Without a team like Chivas not performing well in Liga MX, it's always, the tournament is always a little weird. But, let's look at the results this weekend. A lot of goals in esta jornada, except in the Pumas against Chivas. It really sucks. So on Friday, Puebla against San Luis, they tied 2-2. Juarez surprisingly defeated Cruz Azul 2-1. And another surprise, Tijuana defeated Santos 2-1 as well. On Saturday, Atlas beat Monterrey, which was another surprise. But let's take a look at the standings. As we can see, América is the leader again, 20 points, 5 points ahead from León, which is, very, very un espacio grande, ¿no? Tiene la América como líder. Y pues, como podemos ver, las Chivas y los Pumas no están en los primeros 8. Let's start with América. Jorge, América remains at the top, undefeated, un paso muy seguro. What do you think América is doing right now?
So, and you'll see throughout the when we touch base with every team, you'll see that my view has been changing constantly. And one of those things has to do with Solari, right? Yo no era fan del solarismo. I was like, this is just nothing impressive. But week after week, they keep proving they know how to win. They get the result versus Mazatlán. They were really, solid. Defensively, offensively, they do what they have to do. And the truth is that they're the second best offensive and they're the best defense. So what can you argue about this América? They deserve to be on top.
Yeah, I mean they've looked pretty solid every single weekend. Super. I don't know if I want to ask you this, but what do you think about America? Are they finally playing convincing soccer that they earned the spot in first place at the moment?
Well, the numbers says it, man. The numbers say it. So I mean I can't argue with that. I mean they're still there. Listen, if you ask any Americanista, they are the hardest fans to please, man. Even though that they're on top, they're still not liking like the way that their team plays. You know, I know like I mean they're there and now we're gonna have other games that are gonna be a little tougher. You know, because I mean they defeated Mazatlan. Come on, it's
but at the end of the day, like Mazatlan, okay, but then Necaxa, we were all like, okay, it was Necaxa, but they had been having a good season. Juarez just beat Cruz Azul. I mean, against Atlas, they won, and they had one player less. Like every single result, even Leon, probably the hardest challenge so far, and they came out. You know, they keep adding, even if it's one, but they keep adding points.
Yes, and that's like I said, and that's what I mean, you can't complain about that. Unfortunately, la afición americanista, they're just like that, you know. And I tell you this because I'm surrounded by Americanistas, and I hear.
Sounds like you're one of them. That sounds like you're one of them.
¿Qué pasó?
I mean, as you can
hasta
see,
me salieron ronchas. Mira, se me puso la piel así como que.
De gallina, se te puso de gallina, ¿ves? ¿Ves?
Oh man.
¿Ves cómo así?
As you can see, this is the longest season opening, streak for America since 2005. So, if you ask me, this is the best they've performed in a long time. And if people are still not convinced, then I don't know what they expect.
I don't know either. I mean, obviously they have to do good in Liguilla, and obviously they have to at least for Grande como América, you have to make the final, right? You're supposed to win that final. But I'm with you. América, la afición es súper difícil. It doesn't matter where they go. They're supposed to come out with the win. So far, they've done it. So, I mean, nothing to complain about. And I think that Solaris should be buying a lot of credit because let's not forget, the guy didn't get really any refuerzos. Like, what players were added at the end of the season? Like,
controversial, if you say
Hidalgo, so. The guy he wanted, but other than that, not much. Renato.
So I was just gonna say, and Renato, but that was a controversial one. I mean,
people... in my view, he shouldn't have ever come back.
Right, exactly.
He's back.
Yes.
Do you think the easy schedule, if you want to call it easy, has anything to do with their performance at the moment? Do you think now that they're gonna play against tougher teams, they're not gonna be as successful?
You want to bite the bullet?
I'll take this one. Yes,
okay.
I'll say it just like it is. Yeah, this is the real test. The end of the second half of the tournament for America, because they're gonna be playing teams that are con más jerarquía, with more con un juego más sólido. All right, no con altibajos. So I'll judge them on this second half. Right now, in this first half of the tournament, hey. I don't know how it happened. But the calendar favored them. y le dieron todos los equipos que...
I don't know what you mean by they're going to play teams que no tienen altibajos. They still have to play Monterrey that just lost against Atlas. They still have to play Cruz Azul that lost against Juarez. They still got to play Pumas and Chivas that are not performing well.
That's exactly my point. Like the second... half of the season doesn't look that bad for America. Not for the names that they're going to be facing, but for the moment that those teams are living up to, like very, very low expectation. Toluca is nothing to be afraid about right now, and that's the upcoming one. They should win at Guadalajara versus Guadalajara because they're at home and they're just way ahead of them. Pachuca, that's probably a tough match. Pumas is next, nothing to worry about. San Luis, has been playing okay. Santos, Tigres, Cruz Azul, Monterrey. Those are the last four that we're talking about. But by that point, they should already be in Liguilla. They should already have enough points to not worry about those four last weeks.
I mean, I agree with you that they should not worry about. I mean, right now with the points that they have, is they're almost there. I mean, one more victory, and then you're in.
Yeah.
But that would be their time now to test, to really test, or get ready, if you want to say it that way, for Liguilla, because it will not matter anything they do. All of this past, what they do in the regular tournament. And if they get out at the first time around in Liguilla, I would say like it will be a test to see if they're really ready to, así, aunque me duela decirlo, pero to lift that, the next trophy.
Oh,
we'll see. We'll see if they have what it takes to continue with this.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this about America. I think that the way that Solari is playing, he's really making a style. Whether you like it or not, he's creating a style of play for America, and they keep getting those results. For them, the Liguilla is going to start earlier because they, as we said, they face Santos, Tigres, Cruz Azul, and Monterrey, which we think they're going to be, better than what they are right now. So they not only have to win or look good in those 4 games, but 4 more from, if they qualify between the first 4, they're going to have to go all throughout Liguilla and those 4 matches at excellent form.
Yeah, well, America's just showing that they're capable of big things. Y no soy americanista del club, nada más para dejarlo claro.
No, sí, porque ya saliste. You were out since 3 weeks ago.
Déjale, le mando saludos a Albert, que nos está viendo desde Dallas, y también a Don Flamingo. He says that America played against Mazatlán, that he wouldn't get too excited about what's going on with America. Well, I would be excited if Pumas beat Mazatlán, Anyway, talk about Pumas. Pumas against Chivas this Sunday. I don't know. I would even call it a terrible game because el problema es que no jugaron tan mal. The problem is they can't score. Jorge, ¿cómo lo viviste?
I was just going to ask you, do we really have to talk about this game? It was a snoozer. It really was a snoozer. Like, I think you're looking at Pumas with your heart more than with your eyes.
Thank you.
It's just
Super. I think we're in the same boat, man. We're in the same boat.
No, sir. You still have those candles lit up for. You're still hoping for that 1 goal for Pumas in Sunday, man.
Yeah. I mean, the truth of the matter is that this team was dismantled, right? Right after a wonderful season last season, that was almost like a mirage because that was not the reality of Pumas. Nonetheless, con la garra, con la fuerza, con los jóvenes, they made it to the final, and it was good. It was great to see that, and right away it got dismantled. Starting, from Pelon on top. I mean, it's just not the same team, and Lilini has been doing what he can with very weak players that came in to support the team. So they have here and there some good highlights for the Rio and for the weekly special that we watch on YouTube, but I don't think Pumas is really performing at all at a good level. Now, Miguel Mejia Barón, an old-timer for Pumas, is coming now. He's gonna be standing in and taking strong decisions, hopefully. So maybe with time, we can see Pumas come back from the ashes, really, because that's where they are.
Yeah, well, super. Would like to hear your side of the story that, from the Chivas point of view. And I mean, what did they do wrong? I know you expected this result like this, but what did Chivas do wrong and what's going on?
I mean, sadly, it just reflected the at where both teams are right now, man. I mean, they're at the bottom of the at the la segunda parte de la tabla, the bottom part, and obviously Chivas leading if you're looking at it that way, right? And Pumas all the way at the end. But anyways, it reflects what they're going through. I mean, not having Vega for Chivas is like a huge hit, because it's the only player that you can say that brings something different to the team. Angulo is another player that did great in past seasons. I don't see him at the same level as those past times. I mean, se lesionó también Saldívar, that he didn't even make the trip, and that was the only other guy that we have. Godínez is another forward that he came back after going to León y se perdió una clarita, mi chavo. He just missed that one that could have given them the advantage. But again, es un equipo que I think Vucetich just has lost control of it. He just can't find this el timón, you know. No puede dirigir este bote. And then when you come out again and say that having only Mexican players is like a huge disadvantage, I think that it's time for Vucetich to go, man. I think that's it.
I mean, it's hard to take on that one, but I'll address the fact that I think it's wrong to say that. I mean, when that's what makes your team important and different and special, you can't just say that it's a disadvantage. Maybe they're not the best Mexican players that are available, but they're pretty good. Like, they are actually a good squad. It's incredible that in 8 weeks they only have scored 7 goals. It's unfortunate that Vega wasn't there, but Antuna, now you mentioned some of the misses from that game. Antuna also had one that was a wide open opportunity, and he missed that one too. You would think that doesn't happen when he's playing for the national team where he's looked good and the Olympic team where he's looked good. So there's definitely something going on with Vucetich, right? At this point in time, I wouldn't dare to say that he's going to bring something different to the table. Like, he's probably going to make the playoffs, whether it's doubtful that he'll make it between the first and the fourth, but they're probably going to be in. And if they beat the first team that they face and make it into Liguilla and maybe into the quarterfinals, there's going to be another mirage. Just like what we spoke about with Pumas. It happened with Guadalajara when they knocked out América. It was a good game. The Chicotazos were heaven sent, but that wasn't the reality of Chivas. And that's been carrying on all the way from then until now. So what makes us think that Vucetich is going to bring something different to the table? He ain't. So Chivas has to work with it, and it's not going to be the most promising thing. I was looking online that apparently Pelado Almeida is trying to come back. So who knows? Maybe that's at least
no juegues con los sentimientos de Super. No.
Lo vi.
Corazón.
Lo vi hoy, te lo juro, lo vi hoy. No, I'm going to send it to you guys.
I'm going to start doing like a dance.
Actually, I'll put him on blast. It was not Chivas.
Who do we have to sacrifice?
Anyway, I know you mentioned that Chivas has a big chance of making it in the first 12.
They have a chance. I don't know if it's big. But they have a chance.
Hey, listen. But, right now they're in, but and unfortunately it's just because of the mediocre side of the Liga MX that you gave an opportunity to the 12th place to advance.
That's crazy. That's just crazy.
I mean, there's still like a whole half of the tournament to play. So you know.
Yeah, but if you look at the calendar, they have it's Pachuca next, right, at home. Then they go for the Super Clásico. Querétaro, tough game. Atlas, otro clásico, y Toluca.
So at the end of the day, who do you think is gonna have the worst season out of these two? Like, once when like Jornada 17, when it's all said and done, what?
We already know the answer to that question. Look at the table right now. That's it. That's the reality.
In the middle of the tournament. That's the thing.
That's going to remain about the same. Pumas is going to be bottom 3, and Chivas is going to be around where they are right now and fluctuate in 2 or 3 top or bottom.
Anything can happen in La Liga MX.
No tienes vergüenza, mi Fernando. That's all I'm gonna say.
Let's move on to an even more disappointing game for all the Cruz Azul fans. They lost against Juarez, the team that had not won at all in this tournament. I'll start with you. Super. What do you think of this Cruz Azul?
Hey, I'm gonna say one thing and one thing only. Campeonitis. It's something that it's just we're used to see that every champion, the following tournament just goes like hey, downhill se pierde. It's almost like they forget how to play football, and hey, they're just struggled through the whole tournament, and it's what's happening to Cruz Azul right now. A little bit, it's like they're just. I mean, and I don't know because it's almost like the same team, right? Did they get any? Did anybody leave from this team? I mean, I can't recall anybody leaving.
No.
So,
but I mean, if you go back to the record, like they were unbeaten. They have beat almost every team that they faced. Estaban invictos llegando contra Juárez. I mean, I would give him the benefit, and Cruz Azul, the benefit of the doubt, because they had about 11 players out, whether they were missing because they were with their national teams or, they were, there's a lot of people missing out on injuries. So I don't think they had a full squad to really make it happen. But, I mean, obviously it doesn't look good, right, to take that loss against the worst team in the league. But Tuca Ferretti, we know of the capacity that he has to turn things around and find an angle to his team. So it never really looked terrible, Juarez, before. And they just had a whole 3 weeks to work on their craft while Cruz Azul was basically dismantled. So, I would call it on that. I don't think that Cruz Azul is in trouble. I mean, they obviously don't like the loss, but it was up to a certain extent, could have been expected.
They're in 8th place, though, and they've only won 2 games so far. So,
yeah.
I mean,
but so has
they're not
Chivas.
Horrible, but they're struggling. No, but Chivas is expected of them. The Cruz Azul is the current champion. So, I mean, we were expecting. At least I was expecting a little more from them.
Well, that's when you put it, head to head with América. Yeah, they don't play even probably as good as Cruz Azul does, but they've got the points.
Anyway, let's look at some of the comments right now. Rec416 saying Chivas doing bad hurts all of Mexican soccer. Well, I feel like Chivas has been doing not so good in the past tournament, so I guess Mexican soccer has been hurting for a while. And Random Doing says, don't turn on the candles for Almeida, super. So don't even bother. Don't even bother.
I already told you it was Super Chivas. Follow them on IG. No, not the Chivas, not the Chivas.
Not the Chivas. All right.
ni le reces a Almeida, super.
Hey,
and then we have Ramon Chavez. Move on from Almeida. Se obsesionan con él. That's true. All the chivistas no lo han podido olvidar. And then we have Don Flamingo. Should Chivas bring in more players from La Cantera? Why not experiment if the current players are not working?
But they are, though. They are. And I mean, look at this chavo that missed also like a goal by himself. I mean, he took the goalie out. He goes to shoot, and I just forgot his name right now, but it was like open goal. And you can't really throw los chavos and try to put the team on their shoulders and try to expect them to come out and change the team completely. Let's remember that throughout history, Chivas never has really won like a championship just with canteranos. It's always been a mixture. You always have to have those guys with experience and bring, like try to form a solid team. Having young players is one of the fuertes de Chivas, yeah, because there always been like the speed has been there, and we need that. But again, it has to be a combination. You cannot just throw them and expect them to save the team, because then we have a lot of hit or misses. If we've seen it time and time again.
I mean, sometimes I feel like that might be the solution. If Chivas has tried muchísimas cosas, that might just work. What do you think? Do you think the canteranos might help at all, Jorge? Or do you agree with the super?
No, I mean, I think they have, right? I mean, Nene Beltran was canterano. Some of the guys that left and came back were canteranos. It's a hard hit to take when JJ Macías, whether or not he was having the best of his seasons, left the team, right? He was the top scorer last season, so you have to obviously consider that. But the style of play that Vucetich has, it's effective up to a certain extent, right? He's got 13 wings, like it's almost 49% of a positive rate for Buse. So at the end of the day, when Chivas makes it to the playoffs, they have a real shot because they can spark, right? They can have these chispazos, jugadores de calidad that they can change and turn around a game in a couple of plays. So I think that's what they're going for. That's their big gamble. That's the thing that they can think is the most effective, or at least what Vucetich is used to doing. Do they have players to aspire to be better than that? Yes, and I think that's why we're discussing it, right? Because we expect more from Chivas because they've seen it. We've seen it before from them, and I don't think it's a disadvantage that they are all Mexicans, despite what Vucetich says. So, yeah, absolutely, the Canteranos can save the day, but they already have in their lines already enough experience so they can have a good mix.
Yeah, hopefully they le pueden aportar al equipo. Anyway, moving away from this 0-0 game that we discussed, Pumas against Chivas, there was the Tigres against León game that was very exciting. León was up 2-0, and then all of a sudden Tigres tied up the game. Jorge, did you enjoy the game? What did you like most about that game?
It was unexpected. It was fun. I really liked it. Los juegos en el Volcán, they're always exciting, and I think that it was a huge miss on Tigres because they could have been 3-0 up to the first half, right? Elias Hernandez lost a really, really good opportunity early in the game. Then they still go up, and León had a great advantage by winning 2-0. And then when they miss a penalty, that really starts coming, down for León. And I think it's a good win for Tigres that did enough. Quiñones probably should have had a yellow card before he scores the last minute goal, but that's how it goes, right? That's football. It happens. He didn't get the card. He scored the last minute goal, and I think that it's a very, very valuable point for Tigres.
Super, did you get to watch that game? I see they started Pumas Chivas. What do you think about that game?
I called it, man. I called it. I think, in my opinion, it was one of the best games of La Jornada. I think that Tigres saved a point at home, with like un good sabor de boca. I think that having Gignac back, I think that he should have been subbed and give him less time because he just came back. This is the first game after like what was it, like 2 months almost being out of the pitch. So I think somebody else could have given him a little more condición, más ritmo de juego. So, but hey, it worked out. I think a point is good after being down 2-0. And towards the end, they could have easily turned it around, man. So I liked it. I did see the game and I liked it.
Yeah, it was definitely a great game. Back and forth. Definitely enjoyable. Muy emocionante. So we're gonna go on a break right now. Stay tuned, and we'll be back. Let me just remind you guys before we leave to follow us on all of our social media platforms. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for staying tuned. And let me just remind you guys to follow us on all of our social media: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube. Don't forget to click that bell and subscribe. And now moving on to the next weekend, starting off with Toluca against América. Can Choricero stop the Aguilas? Super, what do you think?
We'll see, man. I mean, Toluca it hasn't been bad this season. I like what they were doing, and I think that they can definitely give América a good match. And a ver si por fin se le hacen a alguien parar a estas Águilas, ¿no?
Where would you put Toluca though? Because you keep saying that América has had a few easy games, or that's why they're on top. If América beats Toluca, would that convince you that they're the real deal right now?
No, still. No. I like I said, I think that it's not gonna be an easy match. I think it's gonna be un encuentro parejo, and it could, like I said, it will be a better challenge than facing a Mazatlan or another team like that he has faced, del propio Necaxa, that we thought it's gonna do a little more, having that little ¿cómo se dice? Tuvo un buen momento cuando iba a enfrentar a la América, but they couldn't do much against them.
Jorge, what do you expect from this América against Toluca?
I really want to see what's going to happen between Pachuca and Toluca. That we're recording on the 13th, and they will be playing, and that's a really interesting matchup. I agree with him. I think they really have been having a solid season. Maybe not the most spectacular, not the most offensive Toluca we've ever seen, but in the last 4 weeks they have been on a not so good streak. However, I feel Toluca can really turn it around, and Pachuca is going to be a good matchup. Whatever they do there, I think they're probably going to be doing a lot better when they face América, just because it's a bigger game, right? Like every single team comes with an extra motivation to beat América. So if they win against Pachuca, I think they may actually beat América.
Okay, and well, talking about Pachuca, they play Toluca tonight, and then they face Chivas. Super, is this going to be another loss for Chivas, or is Chivas finally going to wake up?
What do you mean another loss, man? What do you mean another loss for Chivas?
Not 3 points, not getting
you
3
mean
points.
A tie. You mean a tie.
Another tie, possibly.
Or are they gonna finally wake up? That's what I'm asking. Are they finally gonna despertar?
I don't know, man. I mean, los juegos against Pachuca, they're also not like juegos muy emocionantes. I think son bien parejos. I think they're very equal, and puede ser que las Chivas saquen un triunfo.
Jorge, what do you think? You're gonna be doing this game, correct?
Yes. Yeah, we'll be there. Again, another shout out to my boy Carlos Justice. He'll be in the commentaries. We'll be bringing in Chivas, Pachuca. We spoke enough about Chivas, but I think that Pachuca, like, they started with una goliza against the León, right? 4-0. And it was like, oh my God, these guys are amazing. They're young. They play, they run, they bite every single play. And then, they lost against Atlas. They lost against Mazatlan. Like, they really have been coming down. So, yes, it would be a good opportunity for Chivas to wake up, not only because they're going to be at home, where they only have one time this season, but also because Pachuca is a solid, contender. I think that people will turn around and be a lot happier to beat Pachuca than a lesser team at this point in time.
And hopefully you get to be allowed that goal, that Chivas sometimes lack.
I hope so. I've been saving my voice all these weeks for that.
Yes, I mean, I'm expecting a shout out during that game, me George.
Okay, all right. I'll make sure we. But you have to give us like smoke signals to know that you tuned in.
There you go. Believe me, I'll be doing that throughout the whole match that day. So Dale, Fer.
Jorge, can you give us an example of how you prepare for the Chivas games, and how you're gonna prepare for this Chivas against Pachuca?
I think everyone's different. There's a lot of people that are super methodical. There's others that, I like to go with the flow in terms of watching a lot of their previous games, right? I go back to the file and I start like looking where players naturally came in playing, and where they started, how they're performing week after week. And you really get to see how they gain in confidence. You really get to see like if they obviously have been on the pitch or not, when they got injured, how they got injured. So that always gives you that big picture context to get ready for the game. When it comes to the minute by minute, it obviously has to do a lot with the energy that the game itself provides. So, not having the fans in the stands, believe me or not, like even for us that call the games, we lack that, support from the fans, and that Chivas, for example, that you always used to hear in the stadium. So that has been missing. What we've been gaining on is like, we now get to listen to the coaches, and now even the assistant coaches, we could get to hear the players, what they, yell and tell to each other. So that's been, I guess, like a pro of what we've been experiencing in the last year. But I'm going to approach this game as a really good test for Chivas. I think that this is going to be something that may start rocking the boat to see if Bucetich is going to last or not. Because if they lose against Pachuca, then there comes América, and then there comes a middle game, and then there comes Atlas. So if you lose all those games, and I'm talking about Bucetich, if he loses all those games, I really don't. Whether there's money or not in the club, I don't see Bucetich, finishing off the season.
And hey, let's remind people, when did Bucetich come into Chivas? It was right before an América game, right? So could we possibly see Bucetich saying goodbye right before an América game too?
I don't think before. I think they're going to hold him until El Clásico. I mean, if you're going to fire a coach...
That's what I thought, the same thing about Tena, that they were going to hold him until El Clásico, and they said, no, I'll see you later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jorge, we have a question actually for you from the viewers. So Rec416 is asking, why do you think there's no more Liga MX and El Tri English content across the board?
I think there is. That's exactly what we were saying at the beginning of the show. I think there is. I think you just need to reach out more, bro. Because there are, like...
Do your research, man.
Yeah, man. Just go through your feed and type hashtag El Tri, and I think you can... All these English accounts that starting from every single club at Liga MX has one. Some of them are really, really funny, and they're coming up with really good stuff. Secondly, I think the memes are just something amazing that this generation created. And I mean, you get the memes, right? They don't have to be in Spanish or English. So I think that connects you with Liga MX. And then there's us in Chivas doing it in English. I think Fox as well, they do a really good job in bringing in some soccer in both languages. Univision does the same. You just have to like go in and search for the SAP. So I think it's just a matter of, if you like it, in English, you have to do the extra step, but there is a lot of stuff out there.
I know. I think that's what he's trying to say. I think that in the mainstream media, there's not so much, but there is a lot of content. Like Univision has like I have Fubo. Hey, productor, por favor, send them a bill. I have Fubo, but they have like all these Univision extra channels that they have games in English. Mm-hmm. But again, it's like something like you have to do your research. You have to really dig into if you want to get content in English. But what to Rec, he has a point. Like in the mainstream media, there's no easy access to that. You do have to look for it. Like even
you do have to do the extra step, but
yes, guys, you're in Universo, right? So it's not necessarily in like the main channel Telemundo, but you are, like I said, you have to look for it.
But we are in Telemundo. That's the thing. Like if you were to search for the game on your Telemundo app, you can choose very easily to do Spanish or English. If you are on your regular TV, you just have to find, and that's where it gets tricky. Depending on your cable provider, it's different how you get the SAP feature on. But it's definitely something that we're working on. But it's a matter of time, man. Like, we're a huge number of people that like Mexican soccer, and many of us feel, fine saying it in English or Spanish. It doesn't matter, or both.
Yes, and we're gonna send you a bill as well for so you can give to Telemundo. And
I already get to build it, so it's all good.
All right. As long as somebody's getting paid, we're good.
Exactly.
So I do have a question for you, Jorge. I know you mentioned that you feed off of the energy when it comes to doing the play-by-play, based on the game. But when it turns to be kind of a dull and boring game, like the Pumas against Chivas game, how do you deal with that? I bet that's the big challenge. But how do you, manage to keep that same energy when the game is not
Starbucks
the best?
Yeah. Well,
another bill. Sorry.
There is a lot of that going on, and there is a lot of energy drinks that should we go just for the next bill? No, but what the reality of things is that's when it's really important to have a good sidekick, to have a guy that knows what he's talking about, that is involved with the game, that feels what the Mexican soccer means and what each team represents. And that's another shout out to my boy Carlos Justice, because that really has been, the savior of the boat when the game is just not that exciting, right? We break down the game, we go with some nostalgia comments, reminiscing of the good games for Guadalajara, what it used to be when they played, for example, in Estadio Jalisco, the golden generation of Chivas, and all the Chivarmanos and Chivarmanas that get in touch with us. That's another huge way that we can really channel that lack of energy through, which is reading comments from the people, right? Just like right now, you guys are doing. When they reach out to you and they want shout outs back to Coahuila and Morelia and Mazatlan, we do it. We just send all kinds of greetings, and that really helps us a lot to keep the energy up, and obviously that's something that we enjoy, right? Interacting with people.
Well, if you ever need another psychic, you know where to find me, George.
That's really cool insight. Thank you for that. Moving on to El Clásico Regio, Tigres against Monterrey. Do you guys think it's gonna be the best game of the next jornada?
Well, those games are like there's a lot of passion in those games. I mean, after El Super Clásico, I think it's one of the top games of the league. One game that all the fans from for Monterrey, okay, just from Monterrey, are waiting for, because they claim that now people are coming out and saying, "Oh, El Clásico Regio is the best clásico in the country," and okay, they're just trying to reach, okay, but I don't agree with that. But yeah, it's definitely a great game, and it's un clásico. It's a game that it doesn't matter if you're in first place and the other team is in last place. There's always gonna be that extra saborcito, that taste that brings a clásico and makes it just a lot better, because it has a lot of passion, and le dan con todo, eh?
Hey, you know what? Funes Mori might just score that game.
Yeah. Tenía que salir aquí con las veladoras. Fernando, do you go to church a lot, man? Because
Super, that might just help out Funes Mori for la selección. Jorge, what do you expect from that game? What do you expect to see from both teams? They're not doing too bad this season, so.
No, they're not. And I think that Tigres has been playing a little bit better, right? Everybody has that huge question mark on top of Vasco Aguirre. Like, why is this Monterrey team is not performing as good as we thought they were going to? Nobody really knows. I mean, they just got defeated by Atlas 2-1. Atlas, okay, yes, they have a decent team and they've been doing a lot better lately, but it's still something that they should not have lost. So I don't know. I think that Tigres may come in with a better opportunity to do good, but just because Monterrey is so bad. But then again, Tovan is playing okay, but it's not excellent, and we all know about the Funes Mori, sequia, right? He hasn't been able to score much lately, so neither one of the teams are at their highest level when it comes to the offensive game. So I say maybe a tie.
No, and the one thing is that they both come into this game with only one defeat. So that's
Yeah, but I think Monterrey has been for the players and the quality of players they have, they should be performing better. So Tigres, I feel they may have a slight advantage.
Let's jump into predictions for let's look at.
Tigres.
I think Monterrey is gonna beat Tigres 2-1, and the last one is Puebla against Santos. Starting with you, Jorge.
Santos 1-0 or 2-0, maybe.
Super.
Yeah, 2-1 Santos.
Yeah, I think Santos is gonna beat Puebla 1-0. Jorge, let me just remind you that here at Three Online, we don't only talk about Mexican soccer, but we also talk about los extranjeros, the ones that have gone, los extranjeros, the ones that have gone to MLS or Europe and all that stuff. And one of the biggest news this weekend was Chicharito coming back to LA Galaxy after that injury that he had. But let me just ask you first: do you like MLS? What's your opinions with the tournament here in the United States?
I do. I follow it. I think it's a great league. I think it's been growing. I think it's a matter of time until they eventually get at least one CONCACAF Champions League, right? It just has to happen at some point in time. Other than that, I mean, I think when it comes down to the Chicharito question, I think he's doing better, and he had a great start. And as long as he continues with that streak, I think he should get another chance at the national team. I mean, this guy is a top scorer historically for the Mexican national team, and if you really put the resumes of the two players, and I'm talking about Funes Mori, who didn't have a good, qualifying season. He didn't score in the 4 games they played, 3 games they played. 4 games that they did. He didn't score. And I'm not saying Chicharito is at a hot streak, but neither is Funes Mori. And Chicharito has played for way better teams than Funes Mori. I'm not against the ex-Argentine or naturalized Mexican. I like the guy. I think he's good. I just think that, competition makes teams better. And the more competition that you bring to the table, it's going to be better overall, especially since Raúl Jiménez is not hot either. So you need to play with as many guys as you can until one of them gets a hot streak and starts scoring for you. So I think it's good for Chicharito to be back. I think it's good for the Galaxy, and eventually it can be really good for the national team.
Por fin, una voz de sabiduría. It's somebody that knows what it's all about. Somebody that knows about soccer in this podcast, man. We have a lot of malinchistas. They don't like MLS. No les gusta el Chicharito. And to me, it's like, what's going on? We just have to be realistic. We have to be conocedores. And I think, mira, what a refreshing to hear you, George, because this por fin somebody that it's almost like repeating my words from previous episodes here.
Oh, but we're still speculating, Mi Super. We're still speculating because we're saying when he gets to that level, if he scores more goals with Galaxy, if he gets nothing's for sure.
Not necessarily. Mira, ya te estás. Hey, one episode and you're turning on me. What's going on? I'm
just saying, like, there is still work to be done before we see and have that serious conversation.
I agree with you, and I'm not just talking about Chicharito, but the whole MLS conversation in general. I think that MLS, I've been saying this is growing. MLS is gonna reach Liga MX sooner than later. Many people don't want to accept that. I think they already surpassed La Liga MX in administration, and it's just it's a better run league, and like I said, I mean, el fútbol está avanzando. There's a lot of mejoras en esta liga, and
I mean, in terms of better run league, that's questionable because yes, it may be more. The MLS may be better organized.
Exactly.
Liga MX is a lot more profitable. It's a lot more profitable. So
well, yeah.
But like it's a league that keeps growing. I'm with you. I mean, yeah. But on the pitch, the level it's almost there.
But that comes with the players, though. As the more players you bring into this league with skills, the better the skills that you bring into the pitch, the better the game is gonna be in this league. And believe me, they're not. I mean, bringing people like Beckham as owners, I think it helps. It boosts this league a lot. So like I said, I live here. I love Liga MX. It's my number one league. But again, MLS to me, it's in the backyard. I like it, and the more Mexicans that come into this league, I'm gonna like it even better, And like I said, I mean, when you bring players like Chicharito, that I think is still a lot for. Chicharito has a lot more to give still, So unfortunately, he had that injury. And because he was going like estaba creciendo como la espuma, he was coming back, scoring 10 goals in 10 games. It's something that not a lot of players do. I mean, let's just remember. I mean, that ahorita no hay muchos que lo pasen por mucho.
Yeah, I agree with you, Super, when you say that the MLS is growing, and it is. It's growing. El fútbol está creciendo, but there's key things that I think they lack that are stopping them from becoming better than Liga MX, like the relegation system. That's one of the most important parts of a league.
But what relegation are you talking about? There's no relegation in Liga MX right now either.
So there was just something that happened like a year ago, and they say they're gonna come back. And that is why I still think that the Liga MX became more mediocre than it was before. But then you have that whole break of 6 months. How many months without playing? 3-4 months? that they don't play at all. And then they have to stop bringing people near retirement. They bring stars, they bring great players, pero ya en las últimas.
But that's changing, Fernando. Not necessarily that. I mean, Vela. How old was Vela when he came to this liga? How old was Jonah? How old was like players that are bringing from Uruguay? You know, como Rossi.
It's not about how old. I think it's just ya vienen de su fútbol ya viene de bajada. Their performance is not. They're not at the top. They're not at their prime.
One of the reasons why it's getting more leveled, it's also because Mexican soccer has stopped bringing in those excellent players that they used to have a really good eye for, and that we're still coming at a good age. Like, what's the latest really good signing in Liga MX? Guignac, that was 3-4 years ago. I mean, Tovan, he just came in, but he really hasn't shined. Pumas just brought in like 3 Brazilian guys that used to be in the 3rd division in Brazil. They haven't made much of a splash. Every single team in Liga MX has been kind of slacking in bringing in new talent from the outside. And yeah, it's true that Kaká came in when he was very old, and Beckham did the same. And a few players are still going to continue to, come in at the last part of their career. But I feel that in general, the signings that MLS are bringing in, maybe even better in quality than what Liga MX is importing.
Well, hopefully we do see that MLS, growing to the point where like they're very parejos. There is one more topic that we're gonna get to discuss, is the rumor of this new logo that is been going on for the Selección Mexicana. There's this big rumor that the logo is gonna change. Let's take a look at it.
I personally don't really like the new one. I would rather keep the current.
Jorge?
I'm not sure about it. Like I literally just heard about it like a few hours ago, and I was kind of shocked that I didn't pay too much attention. Then I saw that they I can get used to it, but and I'm going to get a little bit political here, but I just hope that this is something that it's only for marketing purposes and has nothing to do with this new age of, imagery that some politicians in Mexico are trying to use in their advantage of certain transformation that it's not happening for Mexico. So if it's a marketing tool, 100% go for it. I'm always for new things and new styles. If it's something more than that, I would probably not jump in that boat.
Yeah, I don't like it either for La Selección. I don't think it's necessarily ugly. Like you said, it has a font for Mexico 86. So it does kind of look like it's, the logo for a World Cup that is going to take place in Mexico.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah, I would like it for that. That would be perfect, but not for, to wear in the shirt and to represent the Mexican national team.
No, it's true. I'm with you on that one. Absolutely. Like that looks more like a one-timer, right? Like something that's going to happen. And ours, but the soccer ball doesn't look like that anymore. Yeah, you think about it, the soccer ball that the Mexican crest has, it doesn't look like that.
Well, that's all the time that we have. We're gonna start wrapping it up. Any last comments, Super?
Well, I just want to thank George aquí que nos acompañó hoy. Thank you for coming. Hope you come back again. It was a great chat. Listen, having that gig, man, estás ahora sí que en un lugar especial ahora con el super mojado,
Any
Thank
last
you.
words, Jorge?
No, I just wanted to thank you guys, Fernando and Super. Thank you for having me. It was fun. It's always good to talk about soccer. I appreciate the support for the calling the games in Telemundo for Chivas. It's going to be hopefully many seasons, and I think they can only get better. That's the good news. But big shout out to all the people that watch and that follow us week after week, and we should do this again. It was fun.
And hopefully, one last thing. Hopefully, you can call a final between Chivas and having them lifting the trophy too. So
that would be amazing. I'll take you up on that.
Not anytime soon, Super. Well, thank you again, Jorge. It was great having you. The conversation that we had was great, and all the insight that you gave us was amazing. So thank you once again, and everybody don't forget. Everybody don't forget to subscribe to our social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. We'll see you next time.